You know, it's always good to spend a Friday night with your buddy. Some beer, some wings, and best
How
friends.
y'all doing? How
Here
y'all
you
doing?
go.
Oh
How
man, I
is,
need a mug like that.
bro?
Mm. Hmm.
How are you? It has been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been a I've been dealing with uh some stuff. Been busy, man. Just I know we were supposed to get this shindig on I think last Sunday, right? I'm like, yeah, let's do last Sunday, and then just stuff just kept on happening, bro. Just
Well,
one thing after good things.
no,
Uh,
well,
yeah, good things obviously, but like it's just like, dang man, I got like no time. Like, I was supposed to go watch. I know we're gonna talk about a little spoiler alert for the for everyone here tuning in or just listening on podcast format. I was supposed to go watch Batman. I think last Thursday, right? But
yeah,
then
a
stuff
little over
kept
a
on
week ago.
happening. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've yet to watch freaking Batman, and so like I'm super excited to finally
yeah.
hopefully sit down and watch Batman for 3 hours.
So
But
yeah,
yeah,
so it's been about 2 weeks since we've done
yeah, man.
done a show,
Yep.
and we told okay, it was like, let me check out my Marvel Comics calendar. That's still in January, so that's not going to do me any good. So it was about
Mhm.
2 weeks ago. We did a Boba Fett episode, and we said, hey, next Wednesday we're going to do Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And my guy over here hits me up on Monday of that week and goes, bro, I ain't seen it yet. I said, seen
Yeah.
what? I haven't even watched Peacemaker. So it's okay, dude. Just get on it. So
Yeah.
we were gonna still hit that Wednesday deadline. Didn't happen.
Mhm.
So my buddy hits me up on Wednesday, JR,
Yep.
that Wednesday, and goes,
Hmm.
hey, yeah, can we push to Friday?
Yeah.
Not a problem, bro. Not a problem. Sweet. Things, stuff happens. This is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
I'm leaving. I leave work. I go ahead to do some grocery shopping
Mhm.
because I was cooking up a storm last weekend. And, it's 6 o'clock on a Friday night, last Friday.
Yeah.
And I go, call. And I call JR. Usually I text him. I call JR. JR, we recording tonight?
Yeah.
Bro, I just realized something. Yeah, I bet you did. Because remember, JR told us we're recording last Friday.
Yeah.
It's my birthday tonight. I know it is, JR. JR had forgotten his own damn birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that
Yeah.
was fantastic. Very old of you.
Mm-hmm.
You have hit the ripe old age of what? What are you, 30, 30,
35.
35? See, you can't even remember how old he is.
35.
It's
Yeah,
just
man.
true sign of your 30s.
Yeah, man.
So happy
So
birthday, happy belated birthday to my man
thank you.
JR.
Thank you.
And hey, everyone out there, I know we posted it online. The picture is a great picture of him photobombing me at the I think it was like the Avengers. It may have been
Was I photobombing you or were you photobombing me?
bit of
Can't
both.
tell.
He took a picture of me and my wife and a friend of ours,
Mm.
and then turned around and did the old, you gave me your phone, I'm taking a selfie, and then I photobombed his photobombed selfie. So
That's right.
nonetheless, hey, good times at the Asylum
Yeah, man.
movie premiere. So tonight we're going to talk about DC
Mhm.
Comics, the good, the
Yeah.
bad, and the ugly. Neither one of us have seen the Batman, so it's fitting that we have a Batman
yet.
background if you're watching the video format. But we're going to talk about what we've heard without talking about anything about the movie, like good, bad, whatever we've heard about Batman. But mainly, it's going to be talking about the state of DC. Comic books are a little bit in flux. Peacemaker, and just kind of where we're going. I mean, I tell you one thing we don't talk about enough is DC TV on WB is
Yeah.
killing it right now. So we'll talk about I'm not quite up, but I kind of hunt and peck kind of about
Yeah.
what I watch on WB, but nonetheless, we have breaking news, my friend.
How so?
We have breaking news
Okay.
today. It is official. We're getting Deadpool 3.
Oh, finally.
It is official.
I mean, finally. Now, the bigger question, is it going to be from Disney or is it going to be from the Hulu, whoever runs Hulu?
It is going to be a 20th Century Fox
There you go.
production. Remember, Disney owns 20th Century Fox. It is
There
going to
you
be produced by the Fox side of Disney.
Smart.
This, according to the Hollywood Reporter, is that Deadpool has its writers
Yeah.
in the form of Wendy and I apologize if I brutalized her. Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux Luglin.
Yeah. Yeah. They. I think they.
I-
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do.
They.
They
They
do
did.
too.
I think so. Yeah. I think they. They're long-standing writers for Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've been working on it. They've been working. I know they've done things prior to that. I just forgot. Well, I think I heard. I think I heard their name. Molyneux specifically. I think she wrote a comic
Okay.
from one. Yeah,
Have you
I'm just
ever
trying to find it.
heard or seen the movie Free Guy?
I have. I
And
believe
your thoughts?
it's very. It's good. It's
Yeah.
overall good. It's you get Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, right? You're always gonna get Ryan Reynolds. He's like,
Perfect analogy right there, my friend.
yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen the trailer for the Adam Project?
I have not.
Okay, Adam Project, interesting concept. Ryan Reynolds is from he's from the future. He comes back and he comes back to when he was about 10 years old
That's
to
right.
himself
Okay.
and kind of helps himself become a better person and also have improve his relationship with his father, who by the way is played by Mark Ruffalo. So
Mm,
Ryan Reynolds' character Adam, I believe,
mm,
uh, the older Ryan Reynolds, probably, obviously Ryan Reynolds is like in his 30, 40 year, he's about 40 years old. So the
right.
40-year-old Adam comes back to the past to help his younger self along to his improve his relationship with his father, played by Mark Ruffalo. So we have Deadpool and we have the Hulk in a movie
Mm.
together. Now these two movies are directed by a gentleman by the name of, and I just had it here. It is Sean Levy is the director,
Mm.
and Sean Levy directed Free Guy. He has directed the Adam Project. He's also worked with Hugh Jackman on a
Okay.
previous film, and has been reported by the Hollywood Reporter today that Sean Levy is to be the new director for Deadpool 3. And it has
Okay.
been approved. It has been validated by Ryan Reynolds on his Twitter feed. It says the third film in my Sean Levy trilogy that will be a tad more stabby.
Yeah, I expect.
So
Yeah, just actually seeing some of these stats right now because I'm pulling it up as well. Yeah, the Adam Project looks pretty cool. The sisters, the Lebanese, the Molyneux sisters actually worked on Bob's Burgers. There you go. I was thinking of that one.
oh, okay.
They work on Bob's Burgers, and we had the artist for Bob's Burgers who was also really cool guy. I forgot
Oh, super
his
cool
name
guy.
escapes me, but yeah, he actually
Uh,
was at the Comic Salon for a
Frank,
couple of days, man.
Frank. Oh, I had his
Yeah,
name. Frank
I know.
something.
Yeah, yeah, it's he's a cool guy too. He was
Oh,
at
super
the
cool.
Yes, he was at Comic Asylum for a little bit because when we did in what 2018, 2019 when it was
2018,
the
he was
like
appearing at Comic Con Palm Springs at the Air
yeah,
Museum.
yeah, that was cool. That was fucking cool.
And he did one of my Gwenpool variants.
Yep,
He did the
the daughter,
what's that?
right? As
No,
Gwenpool.
I was thinking about it, but see, I'm not a big Bob's Burger fan, so it wouldn't be to me. I didn't. It would be like to me, it'd be like cultural appropriation.
Mm,
I didn't feel like I would understand the reference, and it would be it would from what I understand, it would be fitting that the daughter from Bob's Burger be dressed up as Gwenpool
mhm.
in the variant. But I decided to go with Frank Forte.
Okay,
Frank Forte's other work, he also worked on Despicable Me
that's
and drew
right.
the Minions. So
That's right.
I had them do, which the Minions are they're assumed to be all male, but they're kind of gender ambiguous.
Yeah,
So I had one of the Minions dressed up as Gwenpool, which is
yeah,
hilarious. It's and he's like banana with two katanas. It's freaking hilarious.
yeah.
But
Don't
yeah,
don't yeah,
so yeah, we got ourselves a director. We have writers. We just don't have a launch date.
yeah.
And
Which
we
is
do know that Disney has said, Kevin Feige has said, Deadpool 3 will be rated R.
yeah, it's good.
Which
Just
is
looking
huge.
at like just looking at like the other projects too from the whole cast. Look, it's a very tight knit group from looking at it. I'm just seeing the Molyneux sisters. I'm also seeing again Ryan Reynolds, who doesn't fucking look like he aged anywhere past the age of 30. Just so to be honest with you, I also see a Ruffalo and Jennifer Garner, which is an interesting call out. It's been a minute since I've seen her. I know that she's been in some what that weird trouble before years ago, and then not weird trouble, but that she was in a bit of controversy before years ago. Zoe Saldana's in it, so that's pretty cool. Keeping it the Marvel in-house type of names, and so yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't really surprise me that that when you get like a group of people that has consistently worked together,
Yeah.
over a number of years or over a number of projects that they want to continue to work together. I think of freaking like all of Nolan's people that he
Yeah, he
constantly has
always
worked with. The same people. Like it's like it doesn't matter. Like I forgot the guy who
well,
Tom Hardy.
Spielberg and Lucas did the same thing.
Yeah, so I think of Tom Hardy and like how many freaking movies has he's been in with just Nolan. Like he's been said before that he's a hard actor to work with, but he's always down for a Nolan movie and he's always willing to work with Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan knows how to basically keep his people not in check, but like on the same page. And so it doesn't surprise me that that this has all been good vibes with Ryan Reynolds. I feel like it's gonna be the exact same thing with Taika and with the Hemsworth.
Oh
I think he
yeah.
wants. Yeah, so I think Taika wants to work with all the Hemsworth brother now too, from rumors what I've heard. But yeah, cool. Deadpool 3, awesome. I would love to see more of them. I'm hoping they would bring back X-23,
Yeah.
the girl. I know she's right now she's in I think Bone like something in Bone on was it Hulu or is it Prime Video? She's currently working on a project right now that's actually really freaking great. I honestly should watch it.
Uh,
Time in
one
Bone or something like
something like that. I remember we talked about it a couple weeks ago. We were talking about
Yeah.
the multiverse, but so yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm still not 100% sold that Ryan Reynolds does not show up as the Merc with the mouth in the multiverse of madness. And
It's gonna happen.
I know
It's gonna
everyone
happen.
talked about how highly anticipated Spider-Man No Way Home was, and it was, and it lived up to the hype, in my opinion.
Hmm.
But I really and truly think that Multiverse of Madness is probably going to be the this is just going to be a ridiculous movie. Real quick before we get to the DC stuff, more Marvel stuff on the horizon. It was finally formally announced by the Disney company and Marvel Studios that the Netflix merger or the Netflix exodus or whatever you want to call it is complete as of March 16th, which will be next week.
Hmm.
The Defenders are coming to Disney Plus. That will be Daredevil seasons 1, 2, and 3, Luke Cage seasons 1 and 2, Jessica Jones seasons
Yep.
1, 2, and 3, Iron Fist seasons 1 and 2, Defenders limited series, Punisher seasons 1 and 2, all are coming to Disney Plus, as well as Agents of Shield. All 7 seasons are coming to Disney Plus. That makes, I believe, as of right now, all of the Marvel TV series under one roof, except for one, and that is Cloak and Dagger. But technically, that
Mhm.
is over on Hulu, even though it was a Freeform program, which Freeform was, I believe, ran by Fox.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Was.
and so so you can watch it on Hulu, which is technically a Disney property, but I think literally the only property that is within the technical Marvel Cinematic Universe that isn't on Disney Plus for just straight streaming is Cloak and Dagger. All 3 seasons of Runaways is also available on Disney Plus. Which, by the way, if you've never watched that show, it's
Mhm.
fantastic.
Yep.
Really underrated show. But yeah, Agent Carter, Agents of Shield, and all of the Netflix shows will be on. Well, Agent Carter's there now, but
Yeah.
Agents of Shield and all the Netflix Defender shows will be on Disney Plus starting March
Yeah.
16th. Much to the chagrin of a lot of parents
I
who
mean,
don't like that, but
it's fine. I heard a sad story actually about Charlie Cox, our resident going to be Matt Murdock / Daredevil. Is
yeah.
that I heard a sad story in a sense of like he was so excited when No Way Home's gonna come out, and he went to
Oh
his
yeah.
home theater, and then he was like waiting for like, oh cool, this might come up, right? And when Daredevil or Matt Murdock came on the screen, it was just dead quiet and no one really cared, or that's how he felt. And he's just like, he felt deflated, like, I guess no one really cared. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I'm wondering if it's like, if he is back home or back in his home country of UK of Britain. And I know that there are like different forms of like applause per se. Like I know that you don't really applause generally in a play in the UK,
Exactly.
not necessarily, or like other forms of like that type of entertainment because like Marvel stuff is crazy everywhere, but
Yeah.
like applause and like chatter and like just whooping and hollering I can't say strictly a US thing, but you see that a lot more, and I was definitely hooping and hollering when I saw fucking Matt Murdock
Oh,
on screen.
I was
So
excited about it, but I will say that my theater, though I saw the morning early morning, what do you call it, the early bird special
mm,
on a Sunday, or no, it was on a Saturday. I take that back. And I was ecstatic, as
yeah.
ecstatic as I could be, considering at that very moment I was probably COVID positive. Um, but
Mm,
um, yeah, I can understand that. I mean, and what JR is talking about too is a lot of wrestling fans
mm,
also they say that one of the most difficult things to do as a wrestler is to wrestle in Japan, because the Japanese don't applaud.
yeah,
They when you hit a big spot, like like a big move, they don't applaud. They begin to applaud when you add like chokeholds and stuff like that. When you slow the match down, they like the drama to build.
yeah,
And I think maybe you're right, JR. Maybe it is in the UK that maybe, but I've seen videos on reaction videos on YouTube that no matter
yeah,
where you are in the world, if it's Marvel, it's crazy. But it was such a pivotal scene. It wasn't a scene that you kind of popped for, other than,
yeah.
oh shit, it's
You know what
Charlie
you're talking about.
Cox's.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
you know
and
what you're
also
looking
it could
at.
be taken into consideration the audience.
Yeah,
The audience for Spider-Man has always been younger. I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
we
true.
like it. We're 30 plus, but little kids with their Spider-Roos and their Spider-Man PJs, and they go out wearing their Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can think of. I did read the same story, and I was bummed for Charlie because
Mm,
I didn't want. But we've seen those YouTube videos. 90%
yeah.
of the world popped for Charlie
Yeah.
Cox,
Oh, absolutely, man. And
especially when he caught the brick.
oh hell yeah, dude. Oh no, I'm just gonna be happy for Charlie too. Like when he's inevitably gonna come to that upcoming. Well, he's not rumored to anything, but I know for a damn sure he's gonna come in the upcoming. I forgot her name. Damn it,
She-Hulk.
I forgot her name. Not She-Hulk, the other one. Where it's the character in that was revealed in
Echo.
Echo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know for damn sure she's gonna be in Echo because Kingpin's coming back, and so we're gonna see Kingpin, and so
Supposedly, from what I understand, is that we will continue to see the evolution of Matt Murdock,
oh yeah,
just Matt Murdock, possibly in She-Hulk. So we're just seeing the lawyer of Hell Kitchen.
oh yeah, yeah.
I don't think
So
we see Daredevil. I don't think we see the devil of Hell's Kitchen
yeah,
until Echo. I think you're absolutely right. But
yeah,
I'm not holding my breath, but I just have a sneaking suspicion with the way Kevin Feige promoted She-Hulk, where he said Jennifer Walters is. We have superheroes. They get
mhm,
themselves in trouble. Who are they going to call? They need a lawyer. Jennifer Walters is that lawyer, or
yep.
is it? Because Matt Murdock is kind of the same thing. So I have to imagine there's at least going to be a cameo in She-Hulk. But oh yeah, Daredevil has got to be an Echo.
Yeah.
Um,
I will say this. I want to see Foggy back as well, and
oh yeah,
I
it's got to
definitely want to see Deborah Ann Roll, dude. I freaking fell in love with her.
so well casted.
Oh my god, yes,
Um,
dude. I fucking fell in love with Deborah
and even
with
what I
Ann
love
Roll.
about too is like you have Jon Favreau, who has been the godfather of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, being the
Mhm.
director of both um, Iron Man 1 and 2. He produced Avengers.
Yep.
I think he helped co-produce all 4 Avenger movies, especially Endgame and Infinity War. And now, of
Mhm.
course, he is pretty much the head of the Mandalorian and all of the Disney Plus Star Wars shows. Which, by the way, uh, I don't know if we still want to do that watch along for you here in just a moment. You know what? Maybe I'll do. We'll set that up. Um, but nonetheless, John Favreau has always said that the gentleman, I can't think of the actor's name, the guy who plays Foggy Nelson
Yeah.
in the Daredevil series, who's Fulton from the Mighty Ducks movies.
Yep.
That he's
Fucking
like, no,
loved
he's
him in that
perfect,
too.
and he goes, I'm glad that someone did the character justice, because we do know that John Favreau played Foggy Nelson in the Daredevil series movie with Ben
Yep.
Affleck as Matt
Yep.
Murdock. Which, by the way, there is a rumor going around that
That Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, now that he's done with Batman,
Yep.
could make a cameo as Daredevil and would bring back his Foggy Nelson, which would be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd
He'd
be
be like,
awesome.
"Wait a minute, you're Happy Hogan." So I don't
Yeah.
know. So my guy over here has
Yeah.
not seen something, and
Yeah.
uh, let me pull it up here in just a second on YouTube and whatnot. I just got to find it.
Oh yeah,
I got to
yeah.
scroll through all my Yellowstone videos I watched and the
Yellowstone's
Jeff
great. Dude,
Hardy
Yellowstone's
the Jeff Hardy
fucking
debut
great.
on AEW and
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
with the old Jeff Hardy music. What the heck?
Really?
Yeah. I've also I think I've been told um that music that he uses
Mm-hmm.
is
It's his.
it's like what's the word I'm looking for is what's the select a tab of preview. Why is this not working? But that he it's like a what's a public domain. It's not like it was not made by um it was not made by Jim Johnston and the WWE.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Which is surprising.
so
Is he? I was actually going to ask you too. I know this has been a minute. Uh, how do you feel about? I forgot it's Cody Rhodes leaving AEW.
Um, I'll be honest. I didn't watch a tremendous amount of AEW.
Mhm.
I was a fan of Cody Rhodes when he was with the WWE,
Yeah.
and Stardust. I didn't get, but he still managed to get it over.
Yeah.
Um, I'm
That's
curious.
just
The American Nightmare. I'm curious to see him come back. The rumor is going around right now
he's
that
gonna
he
be in
will
WWE.
debut either right before or during WrestleMania
Yeah.
to wrestle Seth Rollins.
Yeah, which
Um,
it's crazy. It's crazy to think about considering the fact that the main reason why he left WWE is because like WWE still treats their their employees like contractors and like shit, and everything comes out of pocket and don't really pay him that well. And that was one of the main pillars of why he teamed up with the I forgot his name, Khan, the his first name.
Tony Khan.
With Tony, and just to really build up a good organization,
Yeah,
and like everything was set in place. And I guess like it was just over money disputes and all, or whatever have you, and just other things involved, and how heavily Cody was influencing just having proper storylines and just like a lot of like employee oriented storylines, and how just like getting ironed up, setting up four pillars, setting up foundations for AEW. Like that's crazy. And now for him to go to kind of like to kind of go to the empire of sorts, right? I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But at the same time, I get it, man. You gotta make your money while you can.
I'm wondering. To the, I think it definitely was a money issue because I think that
Mhm.
he was, he's got a new baby,
Yeah.
and they were heavily pushing the new stars and stuff like that.
Mm.
But it became apparent that they were bringing in
Older,
uh, a lot of
older stuff.
older stars that were
Yeah.
WWE that were leaving the WWE. And I think that they said this that kind of burned him. That was like, I'm okay with not being on TV, but
Yeah.
this is not what. Because remember, don't forget, Cody Rhodes was a co-owner in AEW.
Yep.
Him, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega are all executive vice president, the EVPs, whatever. It's been kind of a running
Yeah.
joke, but
Yeah.
they legitimately are. They helped. They started AEW. They came up with the
Hmm.
idea. The four of them, Cody, Kenny, and the two Young Bucks.
Yeah. I think
They
it
put
was.
their own money to create the original AEW pay per view. So
I think it was just interesting in the fact. I think from what I've seen, like he didn't want to take a Triple H type of role in the sense of like he was there maybe sometimes. He wanted more of a focal point to be
yeah,
part of the program, and I think for him at his stage of life right now, yeah, with money like all these involved, I don't know if if he wanted to take such a back seat, and it's gonna be interesting considering the fact that one, Vince McMahon is a petty motherfucker, and two, like what is this gonna like what is this stay on WWE possibly gonna look like?
yeah,
Like, yeah, you're gonna get paid good money, but at the same time, like, yo, if you you're working with Seth Rollins, and then he's been known to like to not pull punches here and there. Quite literally, he like a lot of like he fucking there's that ongoing story of how he ruined Finn Balor's like come up because of like he like threw him in a turnbuckle and like he landed wrong and like it fucked up his spine and took him out for like a year or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't get Seth Rollins and hopefully and you're coming. It's your first possible feud back in WWE after like what 5 years now. I'm
The
like,
problem
all
is a
right,
lot of
man.
these guys, they moved, they work too fast. They don't work it.
Yeah.
They don't take some time, let it breathe and stuff like that because everything's so fast paced nowadays. It'll be interesting. That's the rumor going around is he can work with Seth Rollins real quick before we talk about wrestling a little bit.
Yeah.
Breaking news out of Alabama where they're taping SmackDown tonight live. I said taping live, but anyways, Big E severely injured, legit, no storyline, not work. Did a belly to belly suplex with a wrestler on the outside and was dropped on the back of his neck. He is awake. He's alert. He has been he was removed from the arena on a stretcher and taken to a local hospital. But they have the preliminary reports is he broke his neck.
God damn it.
Our thoughts with you right now, Biggie. He's such a good dude. I haven't had the privilege of meeting him, but I know people that have and said he's just legit, like just a super cool guy.
Yeah, he's one of the good guys, man.
And I've never been a super fan of the
New
Day, but I have no problem with Xavier. I have no problem with. I've always been a fan of Kofi.
Kofi.
Biggie, we're thinking about you, buddy.
Yeah, the Biggie took the there was that ongoing horrid stereotype of of black superstars in WWE for a very fucking long time, and New Day flipped that shit on its head since day one.
Yeah,
and I fucking love New Day for that, and like how you just have guys just be fun and goofy as hell, man. Like you don't need to be fucking seen as this horrible trope of thuggish or like aggressive. Don't get me wrong, Big E's a big freaking dude. I seen that guy.
Freaking massive.
He's a fucking unit, dude. Like I think he has the bench press record and the squat record for John Cena's gym. When they first showed him like years before he was actually Big E, and he was training.
Yeah,
he's a unit, but that dude he's a fucking. I love him. He's a softie, man. He's a freaking softy at heart, and he's awesome.
He's a cool dude, and we wish him a speedy recovery.
Hell yeah!
Before we get to talk about DC Comics, let's switch gears from Marvel to Star Wars. And this past week, a new trailer dropped for the big release in May. It is Obi-Wan, and let's see if we can get this little bad boy to work here.
Hopefully, it works on my end. Let me see. I think actually. The only time it hasn't worked on my end was when we were on the other platform. I will say
okay.
That. Yeah,
we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out real quick.
Yeah.
So let me take this thing off here.
It's good. I can hear it.
Okay.
The fight is done. We lost.
Let's go.
The key to hunting Jedi is patience.
Oh god, they're doing it.
Jedi cannot help what they are.
Oh, you sexy motherfucker. Oh, the Night Sisters.
The Jedi code is like an itch.
Oh god.
He cannot help it. Where is he?
Oh god, yes. Second son. Fucking go. I should bought that fucking comment a long goddamn time ago.
Recognize that gun?
Trilla. Yes, I do. Please fucking show Trilla, please. Show me Trilla.
Limited series coming May 25th, shortly or a couple weeks after Star Wars Day.
Oh God, the Inquisitors is fucking happening. I should bought
I
that
knew-
fucking comic.
I knew JR was going to know that immediately. What JR is talking about is the Inquisitors. It is a group of people that made their debut in Marvel Comics, in the Star Wars comics.
Yep.
Actually, take that back. Technically made their debut
No, it was
in the video game.
No.
From what I understand, the Inquisitors originally made a debut in the one of the, oh God, what game was it?
No, you're not that one, dude. No. It was they were there for a while, if I remember correctly.
No, the Inquisitors. This is their first major platform.
Yeah,
from what I understand, they've never been in live action. They've been in the comics. They were in video games, and they were in Rebels and Bad Batch. I think they've been in Bad Batch.
Yeah, they were the first major like full on appearance was, I think, Grand Inquisitor. It was for anyone that trying to have like that wants any background on it. The Inquisitors is basically the core group of people of Padawans, quote unquote, or Sith-esque people under the command of the one, the only fucking Lord Vader. That motherfucking Lord Vader. And it was in the video game. My favorite, Trilla. It's the I literally have the game. I just can't fucking find it right now. But it's I forgot what's it called, dude. But yeah, they were in a lot. I think they were in comics first before they were in the video game. If I remember correctly. I just can't remember what exactly it was because the game came out 2 years ago, and I think they were there way before that. Because they were in Rebels. Rebels came out in 2013, like when the very first the first time that Lucas Studios flipped into Disney, got bought into Disney, and then they started doing Rebels, and so they were around that time. They were early.
Now I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to find. I'm really trying to get my history right on this shit too, man. But it's cool. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy, man.
Here we go. The Inquisitors.
His brothers, second sister. Oh god, if we see Trilla, if we see the actress that plays Trilla in the live action, I'm gonna fucking squeal, dude. Oh my god, I fucking loved her, dude. She was one of the best. She was one of the best parts of the video game, and the video game in itself was great in general. Man, it was great. The game was great, man. It was hella buggy at the time because I think I played on PS4, but then the second the PS5 came out, I played on PS5. It was smooth sailing after that. But
so, for those of you who don't know who the Inquisitors are, I'll read you. This is from the Wikipedia. The Inquisitors, also known as the Inquisitors Program, the Order of the Inquisitors, and the Imperial Inquisition, was an organization of mysterious, force-sensitive dark side agents who served the Sith-ruled Galactic Empire. Members of the Inquisitors were called Imperial Inquisitors or simply Inquisitors, and were also nicknamed the Red Blades. They were tasked with the hunting down of the remaining Jedi who survived Order 66 at the end of the Clone Wars. As a part of the Great Jedi Purge.
Yeah. It's the third, I think, the third Great Jedi Purge, or the second. It's the actual it's funny in retrospect because now it's basically Anakin's way, being Darth Vader, of holding onto the past, where it's their version of the Jedi Academy. It's a Sith Academy basically, and like how they're seen as a ruling force or as a police force. So that's all the Inquisitors were. It's crazy how they say. How they go is like they go from blue lightsabers to like red lightsabers, when really it's just the same thing. It's really just the same encroaching police force on the universe. Granted, people are gonna say, well, the Sith are the bad guys. Not when you're in consistent war like the Jedi have been in since for a fucking long time now since then. So it's crazy how the Inquisitors were basically just a remnant of what Anakin Skywalker did not want to lose when he left the Jedi Academy or left with the Jedi Order. He like, fuck it, I'll just make my own Jedi Order, and he made the Inquisitors. And you have all these people, you have all these kids and younglings basically that were brought up into this brainwashing and became Inquisitors to hunt fucking Jedi, dude. So I'm like,
Okay,
it's kind of the same thing. It's
you
the same
were
thing.
you were right. Okay, Star Wars canon was first introduced several Imperial Inquisitors, evil Jedi, evil fallen Jedi, who under the command of Darth Vader searched
Yep.
to root out and destroy survivors of Order 66. First introduced in Star Wars Rebels
Rebels.
and playing pivotal roles in the Jedi Fallen Order. That was the
There you go.
game.
Yep.
And Star Wars Darth Vader Dark
Yep.
Lord of the Sith comic series.
That's right.
So
Yep.
those are the
That's-
three platforms.
Yep.
Though critical tool, it says though they no longer existed by the time of the events of Rogue One, Star Wars Story, and Star Wars, they were historically a critical tool of the Empire and the Sith in their quest to eliminate Jedi and enforce galactic domination. So I am super excited because I didn't know, and though I didn't want to know, I didn't know what to expect from this series. If it was just going to be like Obi-Wan for 30 years watching Luke, what is it?
Mhm.
There had to be, and this has me extremely excited because once again you have Favreau and Filoni hashtag hold on Felonious pulling from the animated series and bringing the animated series to live action. So I'm super stoked about that. If you haven't seen the trailer, if you're watching listening to us on the audio format, I'll make sure to post the trailer on our Facebook page for you guys to watch. I will say though, watching it with JR was absolutely fantastic because I knew
Everything clicked. Like everything fucking clicked for me. I'm like, oh god, there. Like, oh yes. If Trilla's in this bitch, dude, I'm gonna fucking fangirl. I'm gonna. Oh my god, Trilla.
I almost want to watch. I almost want to live stream us watching those shows for the first time. Maybe we'll work something out, do something on Twitch or something like that. But I would love to
YouTube,
watch some of those shows with JR and just get the live reaction.
Dude, no, I'm not fun. I'm not fun to be around when I watch shows that like this, man. I would spoil fucking everything.
I wish we would
everything
have streamed Book of Boba Fett episode 6.
I
with
woke
JR.
up everyone. I woke up everyone in my house, dude, because like I was the dude that waited till like 1 a.m. in the morning or like 12 a.m. in the morning to watch episode 6 or 7 of freaking the Book of Boba Fett, episode 6, right? And I was like freaking just like I nearly broke my desk because I slammed my fist through it.
Oh, I was the same way. I was exactly the same way. I was like,
and so, I do. And so like I'm like, oh shit, like everything. I will be the exact same freaking way, man. I'll be the exact same way. So I'm not fun. It's fun for me. It's fun for me. I don't think it would be fun for you. So
nonetheless,
so I was gonna say that.
Speaking of not fun, let's talk a little bit about Detective Comics. Let's talk about DC Comics. It has not been a good run. Oddly enough, since Zack Snyder came into the picture. I'm not going to let
I will say it hasn't been a good run for DC Comics.
Yes.
I've heard some conflicting reports of the Batman. Some say it's like the greatest Batman movie of all time. Others say like, it's not for me.
So neither one of us have seen the Batman. I do want to see it. I absolutely want to see it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna fucking watch it.
At first I was like, fuck you, don't want to see it. You guys fired Ben Affleck, you ripped off all of his ideas. No. And I'm glad that they veered from Ben's original script, which supposedly was going to be epic because it was going to be Arkham Asylum. Which it also sounds like they probably are going to adopt his idea for the HBO Max show that's been spinned off. But yeah, I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard that it is on par with the Nolanverse, which people to this day will consider to be the best Batman property that we've gotten. And I've heard that it's hot garbage. We'll levy our own verdict later down the road when both of us have seen it and the masses have digested it as well. But I am excited to hear that it has not only spawned 1 but 2 spin-off series. We do know that there was a show announced early on when they were finishing production that a show called GCPD was going to debut on HBO Max, starring Commissioner Gordon, who's the guy who plays it. It eludes me at this time his name. He's a fabulous actor. He's the Watcher on What If.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he is playing Commissioner Gordon. We do know now it's not going to be GCPD. It is a show based on Arkham Asylum that we're going to see an Arkham story, which will be really, really interesting. We also know that there's going to be a Penguin spinoff show starring
Good.
Colin Farrell, returning as Pepper. What's his name? Anyways, he's playing the Penguin.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I forget his actual name, man.
So we'll probably get a bit of an origin story, and we'll probably find out a little bit more about the organized crime side of Gotham City. So interested about that. But talking about spin-off shows, JR, because we don't have much we can talk about Batman.
I will say this about Batman. I'm gonna have faith in the director, the cinematographer, and his crew, because one, it's the same dude, right? That came from a claim of rebooting Planet of the Apes, and that won. I think that won an Oscar, right, or an Emmy, and you have I forgot his name, dude. He is playing Alfred in the Batman movie right now, but he was also pivotal in
fuck.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, he was
Ulysses Claw as well. So
he was this Claw, and he also played the main ape in Planet of the Apes as well. I forgot his name too.
And he also played, I believe, he played King Kong in Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yeah, he played King Kong. He played Gollum, and so you have
voiced Gollum.
Yeah, and he also, another side story for Andy Serkis. He during COVID in the 2 years, he voice tracked the entirety of the fucking Hobbit series, the books. 7 hours. He did all the voices. 7 fucking hours, and so this man's
Andy
committed.
Serkis is the ultimate.
He's awesome.
Nerd.
So but going on to that, I would have faith in that team.
Yeah,
because the director is a visionary, amazing visionary. Andy Serkis is there. He's working consistently with people that he's worked with in the past. Again, using the whole shindig of working with who you're comfortable with, and what you do, what you can contribute to. And from what I'm hearing, also just mainly that the Batman is probably the most, from what I heard, the most consistent and true to form Batman story from the comics, right? And that might turn people off who haven't read any Batman comics in the last 20 years.
I will say this, because I know you have the comic and so do I.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I have been told is the way the movie goes and the way the movie ends is that the sequel will most likely deal with one of two storylines.
Okay.
The Count of Owls.
Court of Owls.
Or the biggest Batman storyline in the last 20 years. Hush.
Of course. Yeah.
The sequel is heavily leaning towards doing the Hush storyline. And if those who don't know, both JR and I have Batman, was it Batman 820?
Yeah, it's the pivotal cover of the second print. It's where Batman stands atop one of the Gotham buildings, right, and just looking across, right. And there's the other cover. The opposite cover of that is a Superman one where he's Superman having the exact same pose opposite way. It looks like they're looking at each other, type of thing. So it's a beautiful.
I forget if I actually. Oh no, I forgot. Go ahead, JR. Tell me why I'm an idiot. Tell the audience why my Batman 608, the beginning of the Hush story arc. Why
what?
I own it.
Okay.
It is.
Did you drop that too?
No, I didn't. That's the cover.
Okay, that's cover A. That's cover A. Yeah.
Okay, I have that book.
Yeah.
I had that book with me in Palm Springs.
Oh, and you didn't
forget
Jim
splayed out on the table for Mr. Jim Lee, the man who did the cover.
Yeah, both
covers. To sign, and he told me I could only have 8. Now, I wasn't paying for them, and I picked really quickly 8, literally in my stack, because I just yes, Mr. Lee, literally in my stack. The 9th book that did not get signed, number 9 in my list, was Batman 608 Hush number
What
one.
was 1 through 8?
I don't know. I have to go back and I'm gonna look him up right now. I'm gonna autograph shame myself because I can pull it up because I only have those 8 books signed by
I'll
Jim Lee.
You look that up, dude. You look that up. We'll probably do it at the end of the show because I'm gonna freaking roast you for this. but before that, but when that happens, guys, like, yeah, I'm more than willing to see the Batman again, and like it's gonna be 3 long hours. I love it. I've always been definitely into the more detective side of Batman, rather than like the whole beat 'em up, team up type of Batman before that we've seen in the last couple of years, specifically with the Snyderverse, specifically with him in Batman vs Superman. I more so generally love, of course, Nolan verse, but it didn't show more of the Batman that I grew up with in the sense of like detective formatting. The Nolan verse did a lot of like forward thinking, altruistic type of understanding. But for me, I've always enjoyed the methodical trying to figure out detective storyline. He's the number one detective in the world. So he's trying to figure out what causes people to tick. He fucking found out Joker's identity the second day of his existence. Granted, it took us it took us finally 30 years to figure out that plot line. But he figured out but he knew Joker's identity the second day he saw him. So it's one of those things where Bruce Wayne, the intellect, the detective, I enjoyed more, and that supposedly this is what the movie's going to be about a broken Bruce Wayne trying to figure out what the hell is happening in the city. And I am all about that. I want to see that. I've heard a lot of complaints about, of course, the usual fucking complaints of like, oh, my Catwoman isn't black. I'm like, okay, just slow your fucking roll here, bro. I'm just happy that we have a fucking Batman movie to begin with, dude. Like my Captain Kusanagi, my Captain Kusanagi from fucking Ghost in the Shell wasn't white, but hey, here we are.
That was the character that Scarlet played, right?
Yeah. Motoko Kusanagi was an Asian, was a Japanese doll, quote unquote, right? Was a Japanese android, and she was quote unquote whitewashed for this version. So it's like, dude, just chill the fuck out. I'm just happy that we've gotten to see a Batman movie with possibly a good Catwoman. Period. We haven't had that in fucking forever. Even with Nolan, right? As much as I got love for what's her name, dude? The actress who played her in that movie, it was one of those things where like it would have been better if it focused more. Like when you're given less than 30 minutes of screen time, it's hard for me to care for your character, type of thing, right? Especially if you have a history of it. So I'm just happy that we have a Catwoman out there that's gonna be in the movies, that's gonna be in the series for quite a while. So here's that. Like Rachel Dawes was a better character in the Nolan verse than Catwoman was. So here we are. So it's hard to fucking try to pull certain strings like, oh, Catwoman shouldn't be black. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm just happy we have a proper Catwoman. Period.
So let me see if I can bring it up here.
Just tell me 1 through 8. What is
okay? I made a mistake. Didn't have it. Wasn't 8. It was 5. I only got to pick 5.
Okay.
So the 5 books that I have signed are cover A of X-Men #1.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Pivotal cover.
I also got him to cover. I thought this was just a cool cover. I have Batman #50. This is I think it was like a volume 2 run.
Was it the one they got married? When she asked
No, this is a I think this was a different run. This may be the new 52. But it's still a cool Jim Lee cover. I know it's kind of blurry. It's a half black and white, half color. Batman's in color,
Superman's
in black and white. It is a really cool cover. And actually, I got that cover. And the reason I wanted that one signed was a cool story. Was that was actually given to me as a gift from a collector that I bought from. He threw it in. The other book I got signed was a Harley Quinn 25th anniversary special. Harley Quinn.
Let me see again.
It's not a great book, but at the time, I think I had just got it. I think the other thing too was I wanted to get that book signed. I have 2 copies of it. I wanted to get it signed because a friend of mine had dressed up as that Harley Quinn and was just completely infatuated with it.
Side question then: Did you get Amanda and Paul Amati to sign it then? Because they were there.
No, that one only has
Just Jim's.
I did not know that Amanda Connor was there until late.
Yeah, she was there. I think like she wasn't supposed to be there. They asked her to, and then I think one of her other shows canceled on her. And
I think
so
she was
both Jimmy and her.
She was not advertised. And being me and the Superman fan, I did get him his version of Action Comics 1000.
Okay, yeah.
But the book that I absolutely want to have signed, and I'm very glad that I did have him sign it, was another version of Batman 50. It's a variant. It is not one of the connecting covers that you're talking actually, which I think that's technically Batman 49 is the connecting cover where it's Bruce in his tux and Catwoman in her.
That's right.
This is 50.
Okay. Oh yeah, that one's a good one. I mean,
okay. Yeah. That one I had to get signed. Now,
okay.
That one I got signed, and I have that one signed by Jim Lee, Michael Janin,
okay,
Tom King, Scott Williams, Alex Sinclair, and Mitch Gerards.
What does Sinclair do? Was
Sinclair and Williams always Sinclair and Williams always do Jim Lee's
his pencils,
his pencils and his inking.
Okay.
So when you get a Jim Lee book, you're automatically getting a Lee Williams Sinclair.
Okay.
So, and then I got Tom King to sign. That was one of the books. It's
Tom King's book, yeah.
It's one of my all-time favorite books because that was one of those ones where
I'm just gonna sit here and tell you that you're wrong regardless.
Absolutely, because other than Action Comics, the only 3 that I would validate is Action Comics 1000 because I'm a Superman fan and it's a really good rendition of Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love Jim Lee's version of Agent Superman 2 for Action Comics 1000.
Yeah. And I think that's a cover A, isn't it?
Yeah, it is cover A. But like, okay, cool. It's just like, bro.
But not getting the 608, not getting the 608 is one of my biggest comic blunders of all time.
The only pass I'll give you was because it wasn't the B cover. It wasn't the second print cover.
No, I wanted that particular one. I wanted that cover because
that was the only pass
I was so starstruck and didn't know
no passes. So no passes at all, man.
No, absolutely no. I kicked myself, and even my friend, who's not another one of my friends who was there backstage with me, was like, "Dude, you didn't have him sign 608." Fuck. And I went to track him down and said, "I'll pay you. I'll give you $50 right now. Sign this book." And I couldn't get to him.
I mean, like there was that time too. You could where after the interview, right? For those who don't know, it was my guy here actually interviewed Jim. No, you were one of the guys.
No, I was supposed to.
Yeah,
I got
canned at the last second.
I got canned at the last minute because they brought in your boy, your dreamboat, your man crush, who was sitting next to him
too. Yeah,
I can't think of his name now.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah,
Gordon.
Gordon. He's doing right now White Knight.
He did White Knight.
Yeah, Curse of White Knight. I think he's doing another one too. He's doing a Black series as well. Sean Gordon Murphy. I fucking love that guy.
Sean Murphy, yeah.
Sean Gordon Murphy. And so yeah, they wanted him to do it. And like, all right, cool. But I was gonna say too, because like right after he did that interview and you signed it, he was doing he went on for another hour doing free ones.
And I just didn't want to. I didn't want to stand in line. I was being,
bro. It went by fast. I was in line for like 5 minutes for my second one.
Yeah, and I think too. I may have been doing a panel.
Oh, gotcha.
Right after, I'm not 100% sure.
Cool.
But
that's all to say. But that is all to say, guys. To kind of wrap this back up, or to put this back around, that DC as a whole has or as the comic book side is a tough going at the moment, to say the least. And as big as a DC fan and a DC fan as I am, it just more so just shows the consistency of how just comic books in general is really just going down per se. Well, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to say because we have a lot of Image Comics. You have a lot of Boom Studios just fucking going up. Berserker still selling like crazy. Something's Killing Children is fucking has been hot for the last 2 years now. And a lot of other comics from just one James Tynion is doing mongers. James Tynion is currently doing right now. Who has done? James Tynion is the author for or the writer for Something's Killing Children and another book. He did Hulk, I think, if I remember correctly. Immortal Hulk, I think, as well as another book. And he's currently doing The House on the Left, or no, House on the Lake for DC. That's been still doing well. I'm still picking up that book. It's fucking great. He did what's that one fucking Image book? I'm pretty sure that you're getting it too. It's the one where it's a secret society or a secret like the FBI or the CIA. Oh my god, dude, tip my fucking tongue. He's doing that book right now. But all things before I go on a fucking tangent again. DC Comics as a whole, the sales has been going horrendously because one of the things that at least I give them props for is that they're not fucking pumping out hella fucking variants like Marvel's been doing. Of like, oh shit, oh, you want to get 1 for 25? Here's a variant for a 1 for 25. Here's a variant for 1 for 50. Here's a variant for 1 for 100, and here's a variant for 1 for 1,000 fucking issues. And oh man, dude, it's just I kind of I'm happy they're not doing it, but at the same time, just to see them fucking stay afloat, I kind of wish they were doing it. It was one of those weird things where it's like they got money to get all these awesome artists to do covers. Period.
Yeah.
They can get Moko. They can get who else is a big artist right now for they've been getting Rose Besh. They've been getting a lot of these other up and coming, anime style artists for DC. It's just that like they're just doing other B covers. And that's fucking awesome. That's great. It's good for a certain extent, man, but like it just hasn't been working out for them. The reason why we say this is because their Burbank studio shut down. They closed their Burbank studio down. And
so what it was too, and I was just reading the article from Bleeding Cool, is that as of last month, Warner Brothers decided that they were giving up 3 floors of office real estate in Burbank in their Warner Brothers studio offices to DC Comics, and with DC still working remotely, so there's a slight blame on COVID. I can understand that, and don't worry that people are going apparently like, Gavin, what's with the weird birthmark? I hit myself with a Sharpie. The story goes that with them working remotely, they're giving up prime real estate in Burbank for someone who's A, not there, and B, not making any money. So because things are still hurting, even though Warner Brothers, the tie-in, has the biggest movie of the year so far and probably one of the biggest openings in a long time. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home is just murdered the box office.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see the Batman catching Spidey. But it's been a rough go, and like JR says, independent comics have gone through the freaking roof, and they were hurting with Saga on the sideline. Independent books were hurting, but they have gotten a lot of artists and a lot of really good writers to jump ship or become or not even jump ship, but go because of the pandemic and people were working from home. You were able to do more, so you had some of these writers and stuff like that that weren't necessarily under exclusive contracts subcontract out. They're like, okay, I'll still write Batman, but hey, I'm gonna go write Barbarella for friggin' IDW. You're gonna, it sounds silly, but what's really taken off book wise has been Transformers has been putting out a lot of really cool books. My Little Ponies continues to kill it. And like Jared said, just the continued flow of independent books. Now, a lot of boundary pushing books. Obviously, books that were known for it, like Red Sonja, Vampirella, um, and other stuff like that, have been kind of
Yeah.
ramping up the sex a little bit and pushing some boundaries. But those have been catching on.
One book that specifically that's been really Something Killing Children
Something
is
Killing the Children has just been on
fucking
a tear.
killing it, dude. It's on a tear. Department of Truth, which is another James Tinian book. That's the book I was thinking about. Department of Truth.
And the Department of Truth, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was just optioned, I think, either for Hulu or for Netflix.
It's crazy. It's
Something Killing the Children. I think they're looking at Something Killing the Children. I think they're negotiating still. I thought I'd heard that it's going to Amazon Prime, but I could be wrong. But
it's whatever's going to happen, man. It's like a lot of the image books or a lot of the independent books that are coming out are very much these like darker horror type of stuff now, genre too. And we come into this weird arc and age now where it's all about dark horror, and I think is mainly because it's being held by James Tinian and the groups that are coming with him. James Tinian is the one that did Department of Truth, Something Killing Children. He's currently doing House on the Lake for DC. He has done Batman Who Laughs. He's done books for Dark Knight Death Metal. He's done stuff for freaking Marvel as well, man. So it's not surprising that the rise of the independent / image market, right, is coinciding with James Tinian and the dark horror genre that's starting to come back for it now. And what's sad to see that is that like it's hard for DC, that's been very much cookie cutter for a long fucking time, right? Specifically in the last I can't say 2 decades, but more so last 2 reboots, right?
yeah,
In Rebirth and New 52, where it's, even though they did come out with like, let's say a pretty fucking crazy Joker, 3 Jokers, or they did they try to do a DC Black Label art, right? They never really kind of hit, sadly, because when you get what you is usually what happens when you have when you're looking at a franchise or looking at a logo per se, right? It's DC. You expect Superman, you expect Batman, you expect Wonder Woman, and those are your pivotal markers. For you don't fucking expect dark horror, cutting up heads, eating children, books come out from DC. You don't, even though they've tried to do that, and it's crazy. And at the same time, you don't really expect that from Marvel either. Specifically when you have when you have Disney at the helm too now, and so you don't expect a lot of darker horror-esque genre comics to come out from these bigger, well-established names, man. And so it doesn't surprise me that we get Something Killing Children, or we get a Department of Truth where it talks about fucking cutting people's, like, all this crazy wild shit that happens, and I fucking love that coming back to it. Or an Ice Cream Man. They're gonna fucking do Ice Cream Man. This is fucking crazy to me, dude. I love that fucking series, man.
It is getting absolutely crazy. And by the way, for those who are collectors based on artwork too, Something Killing the Children, which I've not read, but I do have the first 10 issues now. I have issues 1 through 10, but they're the second printing from the David Mack collection. He did essentially, it says it's a first print, but it's technically like it's a reprint. It's like a print 2 of the first 10 issues of the book so far. You can only buy them in a pack of 5, so you can't cherry pick. Oh, I just want issue 1 or you have to buy them in a pack. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the only place that you could find them was at Comic Asylum, and I believe they are sold out. But I'm sure you could find them on eBay. But I'm such a David Mack fan, and I cannot wait to get those signed. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, as of right now, CCI fully intends on putting 2 full-fledged Comic-Cons on this year. WonderCon is full on go. I have been hit up 3 times to work WonderCon. Unfortunately, I can't because I'd have to find my own place to stay, and JR's not going, from what I understand. I don't think.
I'm going.
Oh, you are going.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well,
I'm
maybe.
gonna go one day,
I wonder if I
though.
can still get that job, and I'll just bunk up with JR. I was gonna hit up my friend Atner, but I don't know if he's going or not. He's usually got the hookup for the rooms, but
it's really freaking close though, and I know they want to do it a little bit earlier, rather than the I think usually it's in April, but like it's pretty fucking close now.
What's that?
I know they bumped it up the WinterCon.
Oh yeah, I believe WonderCon is in. I think it is in April.
Yeah.
I'll find that out for you. But
I definitely do want to go, man. I think it's only gonna be one day for me though. That's the thing. The Sunday.
WonderCon 2022 is running April 1st through April 3rd.
Yeah.
At the Anaheim Convention Center. As of right now, there is no stipulation that you have to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test as of right now. That might change. We'll have to do some research. By the way, San Diego Comic-Con is still a go. That will be in July. Yeah, we'll have more information when it does. By the way, when it does come to WonderCon, I believe we will be doing, or at least if JR is going to be at WonderCon, I'll probably be doing like a live drop in here. So again, if you're listening to our podcast, you're going to probably want to go on YouTube or Twitch and subscribe. Real quick, JR, we didn't get to talk about it too much. We kind of breezed right over it, but your thoughts as we close here on Peacemaker. What did you think of the DCEU's first foray into a TV show?
I will say this, just to be truly transparent. I didn't get to watch the last episode, and I kind of breezed through the second to the last episode. I don't know if it's because like it's because I'm horribly comparing that I'm comparing DCEU to the showings on Disney Plus, and that should not ever fucking happen. I'm trying to see for what it is, but I do feel like it's weird because it's James Gunn.
Yeah,
right. It's James Gunn. It's from the mind of fucking James Gunn, and you have to accept it for what it is because like we get hit and misses. We get hits like fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but we get misses. We get like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 as well as his version of Suicide Squad. We also get misses like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and the show. And so it's definitely I gotta have time to like sit through it and really try to digest it in order to understand his what the hell he's trying to tell me. I understand that the main core thing is that Peacemaker is just this again DC's version of Homelander to a certain extent, right? But like not like less crazy, less fucking crazy, but more so like all about nationalism in that sense, right? So I understand there's that storyline. It's just more so like and as well as like John Cena is a great actor. I'll give you that. He's a fucking great actor, and I'm
severely underrated.
Oh fuck yeah, he's a much better actor than The Rock. He's
really
as much as I have a love for The Rock. The Rock's been The Rock for the last 20 fucking years.
Yeah,
and John playing Peacemaker, having a racist fucking father, and trying to work from that. I feel more of Peacemaker than I do of John Cena. That's for me. And I just feel like he's a better actor. I feel like John Cena. It's not that much. Yeah, he has more range. And don't get me wrong, man. I understand what The Rock's been doing. The Rock himself is a brand. You'll get The Rock through anything. You like the same version of Rock you got from Fast 5 when he first came in is the same version of Rock when you had him in Rampage. Yeah. It's the same version. And so like it's like the same thing. It's like the same thing with Will Smith. You get Will Smith throughout whatever age. And so he's one of those characters now. The same way, I feel like with Ryan Reynolds. You have Ryan Reynolds now just playing Ryan Reynolds. That's it. So,
but yeah, it was very weird to see John, in Suicide Squad dropping F-bombs, talking about sucking dick and whatnot.
Yeah.
He just played such an idiot so well in this, and you'll never get used to seeing John Cena running around a scene naked and only in his tighty whities.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was interesting. It was weird.
Yeah.
Was it the best effort? No, it's a solid 7
Yeah.
from me out of 10. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you have HBO Max, check out Peacemaker.
Yeah.
All episodes are streaming now.
It's a
It definitely
tough
is.
one.
It's a
Tough
tough
one.
watch.
Yeah.
And again, I think it goes into a show kind of like WandaVision.
Yeah.
WandaVision, by the time WandaVision was over, WandaVision was a masterpiece. WandaVision was spectacular.
Mm.
WandaVision consumed episode by episode is a tough watch because unless you are dedicated to say, nope, unless
Yeah,
they
you gotta
take a
watch.
gigantic turd
Yeah.
in episode 3, I'm
Yeah.
going to watch all 10 of these episodes or
Yeah.
whatever it was. But those first 2 episodes, unless you knew what was coming and you saw the little Easter eggs, you were just like, I don't get it. It's in black
Yeah.
and white. I don't get it.
It's very much the same way. It's the same way. I will be a hypocrite to not watch this thing full out again when I said exact same sentiments about Book of Boba Fett to other people, right? Like how people were turned off to Book of Boba Fett because like it was a long, slow burn as well for that story, and as well as like it didn't have the main character in a couple episodes, and so it would be a disservice for me if I didn't have at least try to go back and finish the story and try to understand it again from that point. But yeah, it's just to me the totality of the series, or just looking at how weird and offbeat Peacemaker is in comparison to like there's also fucking what's that one the other DC property of with the guy who's the Mummy, Brendan Fraser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's a robot. Yeah, I forgot the actual name of the series, and it's a DC property. But just that same kind of aspect. It's weird. DC is weird right now. DC shows are weird, and that's good. It's good that they're weird and they're different. They're not superhero-esque, right? They're not trying to be that way. Yeah. And I'm hoping that it's gonna continue that path to like have DC just kind of be its own fucking thing. Like a lot of complaints I've seen from like old heads, right? Of how the reason why fucking New Frontier failed, or how the new Batman failed, or all this stuff is because of fucking a bunch of old heads complaining about, oh my gosh, my Batman should be black, or that, oh my god, my Wonder Woman shouldn't be from the Amazons or some weird shit like that. Like, okay, whatever. It's just more so like they're just trying to be weird and trying to figure out what hits, and it's just the same thing, dude. Like that, the DC's being weird, and that's good. We get hits like the Joker. Hopefully, the Batman for me is gonna be a fucking hit. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fucking enjoy it regardless, though.
Yeah.
In the same way that I'm hoping Shazam is gonna hit, the same way Black Adam should fucking hit. Now, what DC is doing is trying to not be Marvel.
Yes.
Which is good. That's what fucking Zack Snyder tried to do. Zack Snyder tried to be Marvel. You can't do that in 3 to 5 years. You can't do that. It takes you a long fucking time. And so what DC is doing is being weird and trying to just slowly creep up into like solo outings and trying to build a story around that, which is great. And what they should fucking do, because it's going to get any new fans. It's going to get new fans, it's going to get new people. It's going to see a whole lot of new eyes to this thing, hopefully, and try to then bring back older stories. We have 80 years worth of fucking stories in DC Comics, or at least 80 years now, right? And so the best way to get DC EU stuff, like all these material that's on TV and shows and movies, is for newer eyes. Period, man. Like as an old head for me too, like I would love to fucking see, I would love to see, a true to form fucking jokes and riddles, or a true to form a Hush story, or a true to form this or that. We're not gonna fucking have it because we don't have the universe in place for it. For the long story, we're not, because in order for these movies to just do well, we gotta have the foundation set up properly, and that's what Snyder tried to do with fucking Batman vs Superman, and didn't work. It just didn't fucking work from a cinematics perspective, as well as just a commercial perspective. It didn't fucking work. Why does Batman it's what DC is doing is that they're doing something weird and trying to start from there.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that hurt Justice League was they were trying to play catch up, and I'm just like, dude, just let it breathe. Establish characters. Let us know why they needed Justice League, and
Yeah.
they're doing a little bit better with the TV shows. Like I said, Peacemaker was great. The acting was really good. John Cena was great. Danielle Brooks, who plays um,
Yeah.
uh,
Forgot her name. Yeah.
plays Leota
Yeah.
Adebayo,
Yeah.
was great. Jennifer Holland as Agent Amelia Harcourt was great. Robert Patrick is an asshole in this
Yeah.
show, and he's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. And so like it's weird that DC needs a bit of James Gunn to right the fucking ship. Kind of say,
Now,
right? Or to at least go back to zero in a sense.
yeah, and who knows what his deal is with DC, and we'll follow this as we move along. But do you have to understand that before James Gunn was fired by Marvel, James Gunn was going to be put in charge of Phase 4.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, the original plan for all of Phase 4 was to go and do more cosmic, that they were going to take this stuff cosmic, and we are seeing elements of that. We are seeing we're going to see that probably with Captain Marvel 2, but we do know that inevitably Captain Marvel 2 is now called the Marvels, and that she's going to be earthbound with dealing with Kamala Khan.
Yep.
We are going to get Thor Love and Thunder, which is going to be in the cosmos, but most of Phase 4 now is going to be still going to be earth based. With, we have Wakanda Forever coming out. We have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is actually going to deal with the multiverse. But Phase 4 has been pretty grounded, but there was talk that it was going to be very much cosmic oriented. So does Warner Brothers try to lock down James Gunn and make him the new Zack Snyder, and you produce our DC? I don't think that it works. I think you need to. It would be fantastic is put, but he's not a movie producer. He's a comic book writer. Is put Jim Lee in charge of the DCEU. But
no, you want that man to go crazy right now? Hell no.
Zack Snyder just needed to let it breathe, and to go back full circle. DC Comics has been hurting ever since Zack Snyder tried to kickstart the DCEU. I don't blame Zack, but I think he does have to shoulder some of the blame.
Yeah, it's more so I understand the pressures of like having the studio want to catch up with Disney. I understand that, and he was pushed to do that.
Absolutely.
But the thing about Zack is that like he wasn't necessarily vaulted into a certain sense of like the dude has done like what 3 or 4 movies prior to him doing Superman Returns or Man of Steel, right? And those movies were these weird offbeat, very aesthetically pleasing films. I'll give you that, right? He's an amazing moment-esque type of director where he has these moments in his head like fucking beautiful, look like fucking wall paintings and shit, right? But as to have a concise and cohesive storyline, it's going to take him about 4 hours to get that storyline to unfold. And that's the problem. Well, one of the problems with Zack Snyder is that like he had like 4 movies going in one movie that's only 2 hours. That was the problem. He should have had a storyline, a Batman movie by itself, period, to lead up to Superman versus Batman, to get proper motivations. Like, cool is a great motivation to see that Batman was very hesitant of Superman, or wanted to fight him basically, because Superman destroyed his fucking building in Gotham, understandably so. But that was just it.
There should have been a whole backstory, and I think the reason that they didn't was that when they went in production for Superman 2, which led to being Batman versus Superman, was that they were under the impression, because Christopher Nolan produced Man of Steel, that our Batman we've talked about this before about the DCEU, is that up until the moment that they casted Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, it was under the impression that Henry Cavill's Superman's the Henry Cavill Superman universe, the Zack Snyder verse, with Henry Cavill Superman, his Batman was going to be Christian Bale. That But then Nolan just said,
No.
nope, my
Which-
Batman's going to stand alone.
which is what they need. Like I've always been saying, if Zack Snyder was just given Superman and nothing but Superman, fine.
Fine.
Let him try to work out that storyline and trying to do the emo Superman like he would like what he wanted because he enjoyed New 52 Superman.
How
Fine.
fucking fantastic would it have been? You
For what?
have Zack Snyder. He does the Superman series. He is the whatever. That's his baby.
Yeah. Let him do Superman.
And you hire, which by the way, I'm going to say a very controversial thought here. Ben Affleck played Bruce Wayne and Batman quite well. I liked him as Bruce Wayne and Batman. I think he played it well. Imagine this. He does exactly what JR says. Give us a Batman movie that tells the story, introduces us again to Bruce Wayne. And I get why they didn't do it because we had just seen 3 Batman movies.
Yeah.
But give us a brief story. You don't have to tell us the origin story. You don't have to tell us about Martha and Jonathan, Martha and
his
Thomas
father.
Wayne. You don't have to tell us that story again. You don't have to. We've heard that story. It's kind of like with Spider-Man. Just drop us in and tell a movie from the other side of the river about Batman and have it star and have it directed by freaking Ben Affleck. Yeah. Ben Affleck at that point was proven he could direct movies,
I think,
including big budget movies.
I think that was originally the plan, what they wanted to do.
Well, that was the original plan for the Batman.
For the Batman, but like I think there was some talking about like having just Ben Affleck just be Ben Affleck or just be Batman, right? Just total. It was just more so studio pressure of having like, oh no, we need to catch up to this fucking Marvel movie. It's always gonna be that way because that's how the world turned back in that early day when the initial launch of the Avengers happened and like, oh my god, billions of dollars made from doing these superhero team-up movies. Let's just do that and forget the fact there was fucking 2 Iron Man movies, 1 Captain America movie, and 1 fucking third movie before that. So a total of 4 movies before the first Avengers movie. And so that was the whole catch-up game. Yeah. I do feel like, it should have been, if they wanted to introduce Wonder Woman, they could have done it, right, in a Superman movie or even Batman movie, and have Patty Jenkins just continue to do whatever the hell she wants to do with Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
And as well as just having, give Ben Affleck Batman property to let him fucking do whatever he fucking wants to do with it, because by that time he made Argo, by that time he made I think the Boys, I think the Town, and then he was already solidified as a great fucking director, and not have him go into fucking alcoholism because of the shit that's happening in Justice League, and so that would have been better, man. I feel like, damn, man, it could have been so much easier if a lot of the players that were in the Warner Bros. Game, in the beginning of Zack Snyder's universe, was like they gave him the keys to a kingdom that he didn't necessarily even upheld when he just barely made a decent Man of Steel movie.
Yeah,
that was the thing. He was given way too fucking much at one time.
This would be like giving the keys to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which, looking back, I go, Kevin, that's not a great comparison because that would have been a great idea. But think about this: it's 2008. Marvel Studios is less than 3 years old.
Yep.
And you gave the entire keys of the kingdom to Jon Favreau. He makes Iron Man and produces the MCU.
Yeah.
Not going to work. Though Jon Favreau, great storyteller, great comic book fan. Did a fantastic job on Iron Man 1, did a good job on Iron Man 2. Wasn't the greatest, but it was a good movie. It needs a storyteller, though, to overarch the entirety of this universe. And Kevin Feige, and by the way, for those of you who don't have it, I highly recommend to go and buy the History of the Marvel Cinematic Universe book that was put out by Marvel last fall. It's fantastic. And it says in there that the only way they were going to be successful is you have someone who wasn't involved with the studio, and you didn't have someone who was involved in the everyday goings on of the making of a movie. Though Kevin Feige is a producer, Kevin Feige is a storyteller who helps guide his directors, helps guide Jon Favreau, helps guide Taika Waititi, helps guide James Gunn, and says, "Okay, this is where I want you to go. Oh, by the way, here's the sandbox. Here's the shovel. Go play."
Yeah.
People always complain about like, oh, there's too much overarchy by Kevin Feige. No, he doesn't. He says, artists go be artists, but I need you to get from point A to point Z. Go.
It was the same. I think the only person that actually wanted to combat against that was the previous artist for Multiverse of Madness and the original director for Ant-Man as well. Ant-Man 1.
Yes.
Those were the
Edgar
two
Wright.
that
Kind of
Edgar Wright, which is an amazing fucking director, and I forgot the other the other actor or the other director too for Multiverse.
I was gonna say Peyton Reed, but that's Peyton Reed is the guy who took over for Ant-Man.
Yeah. What I do feel though is that if DC wants to at least have some measure of that Marvel money, of that Marvel Studios money, it's just to be full on fucking weird, like to full on beat, not do the whole Marvel team up, superhero team up shindig shit, and like just go crazy. Hire fucking, I just said his name, the directors. I literally just fucking forgot. Edgar Wright. Hire Edgar Wright and have
Scott Derrickson was the guy who did Doctor Strange 1.
Doctor Strange. And like hire those guys and let them do what the fuck they want to do with like Doctor Fate or a lot of the other like Justice League Dark. Try to do like a lot of these weirder movies where it's gonna have some form or fashion. People are still gonna say like, no, I still want my Superman, I still want my Batman, I still want my Wonder Woman. They're still going to be there regardless. But in order to kind of conjure up or drum up a lot more hype per se, ultimately, sad to say, the big three of DC are always going to get compared to Marvel, right? But that's not going to happen because in the terms of movies, the big three ain't got shit on Marvel. It's not going to happen. There's not enough compelling evidence for people to want to go back and watch a Superman movie. Other than old heads like you and I.
Yeah.
In order for the newer young kids to want to come back and watch those movies, and of course they're gonna watch Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman empowerment, female empowerment, I get that, understand that. But like for them to come back to watch a Superman movie and a Batman movie, you need to drum up a lot of like hype for it. Best thing for that is to build the universe. Build an ever expanding universe like what Marvel has been doing for the last fucking 15 years now. And so I feel like this is what DC needs to do. Hire these artists and just let them, or these directors, and just say, go ahead and play. Do what the fuck you want within the realm of possibility, within the realm of reason, right? Don't full on, chop some, superheroes' heads off to make a point. Don't do that, right? But you can do the Joker. You can do the fucking Joker, which won a fucking Oscar or an Emmy, right?
Yeah.
You can go and do these crazy other arcs, right? And have this crazy shit, but just be story driven and make sense and just be fucking fun. And I feel like that's what they need to do. Not basically full on carbon copy Marvel, but like at least go to the depths of characters that I feel like Marvel is kind of starting to start right now. But like for the longest time, I will always fucking say this: DC has its character growth way more than Marvel does.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel. Like just fucking go weird. Hire these guys that want to make these dark ass freaking storylines and plot lines and just build your universe. And people are gonna come to see your Batman movies and your Wonder Woman movies and your Superman movies, man. Like there has been a good Superman movie since, like a really good one since I think Superman 2.
It's been a minute.
It's been a long minute, and Man of Steel was decent, yes, but like a really good one, a really, really fucking good one. It's been a minute, man. So
yeah. Well, let us know in the comments wherever you guys are watching, and we will get them. By the way, whenever you watch our show live on Twitch or on Facebook Watch or on YouTube, if you comment while you're watching, it will come right into our live studio, and we appreciate the feedback from you guys. That's about all we got. Let us know too, what did you think of Peacemaker? Are you excited about Peacemaker season 2? Are you excited about Penguin coming out? Are you excited about the new Arkham Asylum show, also formerly known as GCPD? And also, dude, drop us a line. What do you think right now about the extended DC TV or the Arrowverse going on right now? A lot of stuff going on. Hearing great things about Superman and Lois.
Yeah, that's actually really fun, good, dude.
I will say congratulations to Elizabeth Henstridge, the Agents of Shield alumni who played Gemma Simmons in Agents of Shield. She directed last week's episode for Lois, for Superman and Lois. So great things are going on with the universe known as the Arrowverse.
Which is interesting. Sorry to cut you off, man, but which is interesting to say because we've been. I know for me, I was roasting the fuck out of the Arrowverse quite a while ago, man, because of like how much they were heavily into, the woke politics and shit, right?
Yeah.
And how it wasn't an engaging storyline, and sadly enough, we had a great Supergirl, but a horrible fucking writing cast.
Yeah.
Right. Melissa Benoist was great as Supergirl.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, it was just so fucking weird, dude, to see all these kind of woke politics, but at the same time, like you have this awesome superhero character, Supergirl, to only be valued to only know her value in the worth of other men in the series. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird to see that shit. And so, like, I'm happy that the series ended, but sad that it ended because Melissa Benoist was probably the best Supergirl.
Oh, absolutely,
best Supergirl since like ever. So I'll be honest with you, it's just like she was written fucking horribly. But like now that I'm hearing Lois and Clark was doing freaking great, and that actually looked like a freaking really well done story. That's the closest thing to Zack Snyder I've seen, but makes sense, which is great. And I'm seeing, I'm kind of testy on what's that new character that came out. What's her name, dude? There's another character there's in the series coming out with a new character made from that guy who will not fucking name when he went over DC and he took over Superman.
I can't remember.
I'm like, yeah, he made a character out, and she is, I think, gonna be in, or she's during the series right now. I forgot the character's name.
Not Stargirl.
It's the new African American girl.
And I apologize. Yeah, I can't think of the character's name.
She debuted like 2 years ago as well, dude. Like 2-3 years ago.
But yeah, and like I said, the CW, it's really cool that the Arrowverse just continues to do well. And I know that of the original shows, I think Flash is the last one, and I think Flash is coming to an end here pretty soon. And I think the Batwoman is still going.
With the new Batwoman,
Batwoman. Obviously, Superman and Lois, I think, is only in their second season. Supergirl's over, Arrow's over.
Yep.
Trying
to do. Yeah, I think they're trying to still. I don't know if Black Lightning is still on. I don't know if it's on anymore. But I think there's maybe another one or two new, because I think Stargirl is gonna be a full-on release now, full-on series.
Well, I know that I thought they'd gotten at least one season done with Stargirl. I'm not 100% sure. But nonetheless, so congratulations. CW continues to do well with the Arrowverse, and looking forward to that. And by the way, technically it exists within the grander DCEU. They did make the CW Arrowverse canon in the DCEU and vice versa. I should say this. The DCEU is canon in the Arrowverse. Let's put it that way, because the Arrowverse came first. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go watch Crisis on Infinite Earths. Probably one of the greatest TV crossover events of all time. It was fantastic. It's everything you would expect out of a CW TV show, but it was fantastic.
Sorely under budget, man. If they had more money. Yeah.
But I love that they did do the crossover with the two Flashes. They literally tied in every single universe. Now, for those of you, and people will say, well, Kevin, technically, when the two Flashes met, it was this. And no, because I will again go back to what is canon. We are seeing with the new Flash movie, we will see aspects of the was it the Flash Forward? No, what is it called? Flashpoint. I'm sorry, Flashpoint.
Flashpoint. Yeah.
We're going to see elements of Flashpoint. We do know it's confirmed that Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne exists within the greater DC multiverse. So Batman 89, as they call it, Batman 89's universe exists as a branch universe within the DCEU storyline. So the DC extended universe, or the DC extended multiverse universe, what do you want to call it? Batman 89 exists. Now, fast forward or rewind, go back a year with the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline. We saw an episode, I think it was one of the first episodes of Crisis, where Earth 89, we see Robert Woller's character, I think his name is, who plays a guy who works for the Daily, not the Daily Planet, but whatever, the Gotham paper at the time. But you know him from the first Batman movie. He's always hitting on Kim Basinger's character in the newspaper. But anyways, Batman 89 exists both in the DCEU and the Arrowverse, so therefore the Arrowverse is canon. Boom, you've been lawyered. But I do like that they've tied everything together. That also the Titans universe that exists on that existed at the time on the DC streaming platform, now on HBO Max. All of those shows exist within the Arrowverse, and so does the original Flash from back in the 80s. It was so good. By the way, just go check it out if you can find it. I think it's on HBO Max now.
Yeah. Basically, what Marvel's trying to do is that. What Marvel's trying to do, and I guess at a better budget, quote unquote, was the crossover Infinite Crisis event, and so that's what's going to happen possibly with a Multiverse of Madness, and so they're trying to tie in all of the universes. But
I cannot wait. May 5th or May 6th or whatever. No, May 6th can't get here fast enough. It's going to be exciting. But all right, guys, thank you for staying up with us on a Friday night. I've got a long day tomorrow. I've got to get up early for the gym. I also have a fundraiser I'm doing for the attending for the Boys and Girls Club tomorrow. So go out and support your local Boys and Girls Club. Check it out. I think check out Boys and Girls Club of the Coachella Valley on Google it. And I don't have the exact stream, or the exact URL, but so I'm going to that event tomorrow, and so I had a lot of fun. And don't forget, we will be, whether JR's here or not, we're going to be doing Moon Knight in a couple of weeks. So this is the first non-bonus episode we've given you guys in a while, so enjoy. I think this is like episode 65 or something.
Last thing, Naomi. That's the character I was thinking about. It's going to be on Arrowverse. Naomi.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember. I do remember that. They announced her at Fandom.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I do remember that. So, well, guys, again, keep the comments coming even after we're off the air. If you go back and restream this, you can add comments, and it will come to our little comment board up here, and we really appreciate it. So, anyways. One final thing, he is JR Kabakugan at also not JR Comics 42. I am Kevin Pillow at Voice of Reason 23 on all social media platforms except for TikTok, because some asshole stole it. So you can, if you're really interested in following me on TikTok, and I haven't posted anything, don't. At Voice of Reason 237 on TikTok. So I don't do anything. I just go on there to watch funny videos. So. All right, guys, have a great one. I'd say wear your damn masks, but that ended when Russia started invading Ukraine. So sorry.
Yeah. Man, we could talk about that, but that's a whole different topic.
Putin.
Oh my god, dude! Solidarity with Ukraine, man. Fuck them up. Dude, that's crazy. It's crazy.
All right, guys, have a great night. Enjoy your Friday night, and always peace.
Peace, man. Peace and love. And fuck you, Russia. And fuck Russia.